The Rise of Becky Tales by Living Goddess. They say some women are born soft and some are forged in fire. This is the story of Becky Rose, the woman who was humiliated, beaten, silenced until she rose. Becky was not born into wealth, she was born into struggle. Her childhood home was small, poorly furnished, with a roof that leaked whenever it rained. On stormy nights, buckets were placed around the house to catch dripping water. Her father was a farmer, a quiet man whose hands were hardened by soil and sacrifice. Her mother sold palm oil by the roadside, sitting for long hours under the burning sun just to feed the family. They were poor, but they raised Becky rich in dignity. And as a child, she made a promise. I will end this suffering. She studied under lantern light, walked miles to school, read borrowed books. Education was her escape plan, and it worked. University became Becky's first doorway into a different world, a world of wealth, class, influence, and it was there she met Fred. Fred came from a powerful political family. He was polished, rich, well connected, but what drew him to Becky was her simplicity, her intelligence, her quiet confidence. He pursued her seriously, promised marriage, promised security, promised to lift her family out of poverty. Becky believed him, and so she married him. Their wedding was grand, a lottery marriage. Politicians attended. Gold decorations filled the hall. Luxury cars lined the streets. Her parents cried tears of relief. Their daughter had made it, but palaces can be prisons. The abuse began after the wedding. Fred's mother smiled in public, but in private she was cruel. She believed Becky was beneath their status. Then, one afternoon, over something as small as table arrangement, she slapped Becky, hard. The room froze. Becky looked at Fred, waiting for him to defend her. He said nothing. He just sat there and watched. That silence broke something inside her. The slaps continued. Any mistake, any disagreement. His mother would hit her, and Fred never stopped her. Then came the next humiliation. They forced Becky to resign from her job. They told her women in their family did not work. They mocked her ambition. She signed the resignation letter with shaking hands. Her independence was stripped away. Meanwhile, Fred entertained other women. He brought them home openly, laughing, drinking, locking doors Becky wasn't allowed to knock on. Her dignity was being buried alive. Until one day, she reached out to an old university friend. They met in secret. Becky cried, deeply, painfully. Her friend listened, then said words that changed her life forever. Choose yourself. No one is coming to save you. That day, Becky woke up. She secretly applied for jobs, late nights, hidden emails, stolen phone calls. Then one morning, she got an offer, a powerful corporate position. She didn't leave the mansion yet, but her fear was gone. Then came the night everything changed. Becky dressed beautifully, elegant dinner gown, long flowing hair, confidence radiating from her skin. She stepped out without permission. Hours later, around 11 p.m., she returned home. Fred and his mother were waiting in the living room. Fred asked coldly, "Where did you go?" Becky looked him straight in the eye and said, "I went out with a male friend." The room exploded. His mother stood up in rage and slapped Becky again, but this time Becky did not cry. She did not freeze. She raised her hand, "Pat," and slapped her back, harder. The sound echoed through the mansion. Fred stood frozen. His mother held her cheek in shock, and Becky said calmly, "The day you first slapped me was the last day I was weak." She turned and walked away. That night, control over her ended. Becky rose silently after that. She worked, she built wealth, she built power. Her revenge was not loud then, it was success. She rescued her parents from poverty, bought them a beautiful home, restored their dignity, fulfilled her childhood promise. And Fred, his corruption eventually surfaced, political crimes, financial fraud. Evidence Becky had quietly secured ensured he could not escape. His empire collapsed. The man who watched her be slapped now stood powerless before the law. Becky did not celebrate loudly. She simply moved forward, stronger, untouchable, free. People began to call her the woman who rose twice, but those who knew her truth called her something else. Becky rose because she grew from pain, survived the thorns, and still chose to bloom.